I don't know about you, but I am tired of hearing about leadership scandals, both in the church and outside it. It feels like every time I turn on the TV or read a news article, there's some leader being exposed of a failure of integrity. And this is particularly painful to hear about it when it's inside the church. What's going on here? Some say the problem is too much wealth, so we should give it all away. Some say the problem is too much fame, so we should remove the spotlight. Others say the problem is too much power, so we should refuse high positions. But is that what's really happening? Let's take a closer look. See, the truth is the problem is not wealth, power, or fame in and of itself. You can still have a small amount of wealth and it can have too much control over you and you may not be generous. You can still have a small amount of power and still find your power more important than the people that you lead. Or you may only have a small amount of fame, a few followers on Instagram, and you could still be obsessed with your image. The problem is not those things in and of themselves. The problem is our heart towards them. It's when we come to value them too much and they become like idols in our heart. When we begin to follow Jesus, God works to set us free from these things such that then they can be used for good and for God's glory. Let me give you an example of this. Lola was a young, successful executive, living the high life in New York, excelling in her career, going with international travel on business trips, 5-star dining, wearing designer clothes, living the good life. And she came to a crossroads in her life and then made a decision to follow Jesus. Shortly afterwards, God spoke to her. Lola, do you want to do this the short way, the fast way, or the long way, the slow way? And she said, I want to do it the fast way. And God spoke to her again and said, well, then I want you to give away your belongings. I want you to let go the things that have captured your heart. And Lola decided to follow what God was saying. So she ordered a charity truck and she packed it full of her designer handbags, her clothing, everything that she had valued that was precious to her. She resigned her job and she took a year off to go to Bible college and learn more about the God that she'd chosen to follow. What was God doing? Well, God was doing a radical dismantling of her heart, teaching her to seek his kingdom above all others. See, the process of following Jesus will look like that. I think this is what Jesus meant when he said, take up your cross and follow me. And Jesus was referring to those things that hold us back from following him. The love of wealth, the love of power, the love of fame. Because God wants to set us free. On the other side of that cross is a resurrection. On the other side of that cross is freedom from those things, where God is put first and his kingdom, which includes love for others and an orientation away from the self, can fully reign. You know, it's interesting to me that years down the track in Lola's life, things have changed and she finds herself back in a position of wealth and power. She finds herself in a place where she moves in the same circles that she did before she chose to follow Jesus. But she's different now. Those idols have been removed from her heart. And God works in every single one of us in different ways to set us free so that then we can use those things to help others. We're all subject to temptation. And as those things grow in our hearts, we become more so. The call is on us to keep listening to the Spirit, to keep following Jesus, to keep toppling those idols from our hearts and to seek first his kingdom. And then we're going to see the blessing flow in and through us. Hey, thanks for listening today. It's been great to have you with us. For more on having your own God conversations, go to godconversations.com. And we'll see you next time.